The water temperatures at Copper Lake have changed once again, from cold to warm, now back to normal. Yeah, and that of course means we are looking for new spots again. That's clear. Just like every time the water temperature changes, we obviously have to check where something might work again, where the fish are holding now, and above all, which fish can we catch where? That is always the big question. And because of that, we start with the standard spots that you can usually test regularly after the water temperature has changed. What is important though, is that you really need to know where the fish are holding at the different water temperatures. And luckily, there is already plenty of information directly from Russian Fishing 4, especially with the introduction of the Zig rig and the water temperatures. There was a Q&A back then, and it was stated very clearly where the fish are holding at the different temperatures. Most recently, we had warm water. And for example, this area down here worked quite well again. So between 10 and 15 meters. Then you end up exactly in this range, starting from about 10 meters down to 15 meters depth. You simply land in areas that are quite deep, where the water is not quite as warm. And when the water temperature is cold, well, then we go into the shallow areas, especially close to the shore, more like around 1 meter depth, or maybe even shallower. Those work really well again. Or you actually use the Zig rig and then simply test presenting the bait directly on the water surface. That also works very well again when the water is cold. Yeah, and now that we have normal water, meaning we now have a normal distribution of fish across the different zones, well, then you simply have to test the standard positions again, where something usually works from time to time. I would also say that the mid-water zones work quite well again and again, but also these standard spots that are relatively close to the shore, those also work really well over and over again. Right now, especially here at the very beginning, this position runs quite regularly and quite well. Right here next to the birch tree, I have simply cast out to 8 meters here, so line clip at 8 meters, and the whole thing completely with coconut and cream. And that's what it looks like right now. So 15 minutes at the spot so far, and there are already a few rare fish in there. And the whole thing, as I said, completely basic, simply with a pop-up rig and coconut and cream as the corn bait. Yeah. And as mentioned, a wide variety of fish go in. And that's what's nice about it. You can fish this right here in front without using PVA. I have conveniently put everything into PVA right now. The entire feed. But theoretically, you can also use the ball form as feed here because it's only 8 meters that you can easily cast. And of course, you can do that just as well with ground bait balls or with the spod rocket. Then you throw in 100 grams or 200 grams of feed right here, and the entire spot is active and fully baited. Let's take a quick look at such a setup, how it is built here right now, and what the ground bait looks like. And then I would say we also take a look into the net in a moment to see how much silver this has brought in during that time. So I'm keeping it very basic here, simply with a size 1 hook built on 27 kilograms, the entire setup, and here with coconut cream, corn bait, and of course coconut nectar. So very simple overall. And then for the ground bait, cornmeal as the base. Corn kernels added separately. Then 2 different versions of feed pellets, one coconut and cream, and then sweet cream. On top of that, milk powder, and of course finished off with coconut cream as the aroma. And with that, the bait is basically already done. You can rebuild this 1-to-1 in this version. In ball form, if you can't make PVA yet, that is absolutely possible. So what do we have now? 20 minutes at the spot. That already looks quite good. You can definitely work with that. And that means we of course take another quick look in here. Yeah, Tench can of course also go in further, especially with corn as the base and corn kernels and cream. These are all components that also work for Tench. The Kvolsdorfsky Tench was already in there. That is, of course, an extremely rare fish, but with a lot of luck, that can, of course, also go in. And what I noticed at the beginning, especially with the orangi ogon and the dinks, after the first use of the ground bait, the spot changed a bit at first. So that is also definitely a possibility to test the same spot again with a different ground bait. So if you took a break of about 2 hours at the spot and you want to fish it fresh and new again, feel free to test a completely different ground bait as well. Maybe then you will attract the carp species more easily, for example. Yeah, this is what it looks like in the fish market right now. The Kvolsdorfsky Tench brings really good silver. 20 minutes here at the spot and already over 300 silver in total. So that already looks quite good for such a basic setup. And of course, you can now also scale this up or test it again with other rigs. So you can definitely combine it with pop-up boilies as well if you want to go for bigger fish here. The whole thing switched again to coconut and cream. Then here maybe with the size 16 boilie coconut cream or coconut and fruits, which also worked really well again recently. Then of course, coconut cream again with corn bait. And the third setup here, I will now switch again to coconut fruits. Yeah, and then the testing naturally continues. So rebuilt the same way again, also switch to coconut here. In this case, pop-up fruit size 15 plus coconut corn bait, and straight back out with it and keep testing. Yeah, that's it for this spot. Test, test, test like always, and definitely also test all the standard spots. Coconut cream or just cream, or sometimes caramel. These aromas work regularly really well here at Copper Lake. Come on, let's take this fish out here once more. That also looks quite good again. Although, yeah, we don't really want that one. So if there are too many mirror carp and common carp at a spot, that's nice to get a few skill points. But to really make silver, those fish are not worth it. We want the rare fish here. And for everyone who has watched the video up to now, basically all the way to the end, there are a few bonus infos as well. So what worked best over the entire time here? I have now been at the spot for a good 50 minutes, and the most exciting combination was actually this one at the end. Coconut and fruits with coconut and cream. Especially coconut and fruits with coconut and cream actually delivered the most exciting fish. Even just now, another Dink's leather carp, so another very rare fish. And that of course now brings, after just under 1 hour, well over 700 silver. So that looks really good again. The Tench trophy was also included. That also here on coconut fruits with coconut and cream. So once again, a few bonus infos for those who stick with it and watch the video until the end. So get to the spot, keep testing and trying. If this helped you, leave a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and then we'll see each other in one of the next videos or maybe in a live stream. Until next time, tight line.